Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Me and my friend are going to discuss about material week 16. Okay, first, let me introduce myself. My name is Fadhilah Dzakiyyah, and now I'm going to discuss about historical linguistics. Historical linguistics. Historical linguistics, also called, is the study of language. Diachronic, the study of linguistic change through historic contrast, to synchronic linguistics, the study of the phonology, morphology, and synthetic feature of a language at the state time. Historical linguistics has the four main concepts. 1. To describe an account of observation in particular language. 2. To reconstruct the prehistory of language and determine the related grouping them into language families. 3. To develop general theories about how and why language change. And 4. To describe the history of speech community. What is the language family? A language family is a group of languages related through the scan from a common ancestor, called the photo-language of that family. The term family reflects the three models of language origination in historical linguistics, which make use of a metaphor comparing language. Sir William Jones, he is generally regarded as the father of historical linguistics. He spoke 13 languages fluently plus he knew 28 other well, so he was hyper-polyglot. He is founder of Asiatic Society in Kultula. And in the 1786, he gave a talk to small group about Sanskrit and some European language that later became an important work in linguistics. History. Filipino society was a traveler and merchant from a long-established Florentine mercantile family who was born in Florence. He traveled to the Indian subcontinent, reaching Cochin in November, and remained in Cochin and Goa and the Malabar coast that joins the two until his death. In India, he noted that number of words in Sanskrit seem related to Italian word, proto-language. The common ancestor of a language family is seldom known directly since most languages have a relative short recorded history. However, it is possible to recover many features of a proto-language by applying to the comparative method. A reconstructive product worked out by 19th century linguist August Seichler.
Historical linguistic August Laker 19 February 1821 to 6 December 1868 was a German linguist. His great work was a compendium of the comparative grammar of the Indo-European languages, in which he attempted to reconstruct the Proto-Indo-European language. To show how Indo-European may have looked, he created a short tale, skeletal fable, to exemplify the reconstructed society inferred from it. Change of language. Language change because of our physical, psychological, or sociological nature, and linguists can inevitably change 100. Where there is variation, there is likely to be change. Suzanne Romain. Languages that evolve from a common source are genetically related. These languages were once dialects of the same language. Earlier form of Germanic languages, such as German, English, and Swedish were dialect of Proto-Germanic, while earlier from of Romance languages language change because of our physical, can psychological, or sociological nature, and linguists can inevitably change 100. Where there is variation, there is likely to be change. Suzanne Romain. Languages that evolve from a common source are genetically related. These languages were once dialects of the same language. Earlier forms of Germanic languages, such as German, English, and Swedish were dialect of Proto-Germanic, while earlier forms of Romance languages such as Spanish, French, and Italian were the dialect of Latin. Furthermore, other forms of Proto-Germanic and Latin were once dialect of Indo-European. Cognates are, in a technical sense, two words that have a common origin or cognates. Cognates are words in two languages that share a similar meaning, spelling, but with different pronunciation. Comparative method refers to the practice of comparing forms in two or more languages with a view to discovering regularities of correspondence. A simple intent from English and German consonants T and S. With a series of native words, one can see that where English has, German has S, water, wasser, better, better, food, vest. It is obvious here that English T corresponds to English S in non-initial position.
Community. There is a 3 point, and number 1, a speech community is a group of people who share a set of norms and expectations regarding the use of language. Number 2, etymology is the study of the history of words, their origins, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. And number 3 is modern historical linguistics, that's from the late 18th century. It grew up of the earlier discipline of philosophy, the study of ancient texts and documents, i.e., literary texts and of written records, the establishment of their authenticity and their original form, and the determination of their meaning dating back to antiquity. Next, phonological change. There is 4 points, and number 1 is change of phonological. Number 2, 1040 and 1060 CA, the Greek vowel shift took place. The 7 long vowel of Middle English underwent changes. Number 3, the high vowel 1 and U become the diphthong AG and AU. The long vowel increased tongue height and shift upward, and A was fronted. And number 4, many of the spelling inconsistencies of English are because of Greek vowel shift. Our spelling system still reflect the way words were pronounced before the shift took place. Next, morphological change. There is 4.2, and number 1 is change of morphological. Number 2, many Indonesia European languages had extensive case ending that government were order, but these are no longer found in Romance languages or English. Number 3, although pronouns still show a trace of the case system he versus him, English uses preposition to show the case. Instead of the dative case in direct object, English usually the word to or for. Number 4, instead of the genitive case, English use the word of or after a noun to show possession. Other cases include the nominative, subject pronouns, accusative, direct object, and vocative. Next, synthetic change. There is 2 points, and number 1 is change of synthetic, and number 2, because of the lack of the case system, word order has become more rigid and strict in modern English. Now it's strictly subject-verb object order. And finally, lexical change. There is 3 points, and number 1, change of lexical. Number 2, Old English borrow place name from Celtic, army, religious, and educational word from Latin, and everyday words from Scandinavian, Anglo and Saxon, from German dialect. The basis of Old English phonology, morphology, syntax, and lexicon. And the third, Middle English borrow many words from French in the areas of government, law, religion, literature, and education because of the Norman conquest in 1060 CA. Modern English borrow words from Latin and Greek because of the influence of the classics with much scientific terminology. Thank you.